like to begin the meeting with prayer, and then if you'll remain standing, we'll join in the pledge to the flag. We'll call on one of our guests, Joe Nix. I know Joe's here. Is he here?
I'm here.
All right, I can't see you. If you would, yeah, I see you, Joe. If you would lead us in prayer, please.
Bow with me, please. Father God, we thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for this opportunity that has come before us to gather and to participate in the democratic process, Father. We ask that thou would please crown the head of our elected leaders with knowledge and wisdom, that they may be able to make good decisions as they relate to this county. And Father, during these times of uncertainty and unrest, we pray for healing. We pray for peace. We pray for love. Thank you for forgiving for our sins. Use the love and blessing we ask in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. If you will, join us in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. We do want to welcome all of you to our meeting today. Appreciate those of you that are in attendance, your interest in the business of the commission in this county. First item on our agenda that we have anything scheduled for is the consideration of the consent agenda. Commissioners, you've received by email copies of the minutes of the June 9th, 2020 regular meeting. And you've had a chance to consider those, review those. Are there any corrections to be made, edits? Or is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion, Mr. Barton. Second, Tony Holmes. Questions? You clear on that?
I'm good.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries. We have nothing scheduled under old business, and I'm going to take a little liberty, if you don't mind, Commissioners, and we have Rick Clifton with the Covington County Economic Development Commission with us today. And Rick, if you would, how about coming forward and giving us an update on some things going on around the county? There have been a lot of uncertain times, a lot of frustrations in the economy generally across the nation, and I think Rick hopefully has some good news to share with us, or at least get us excited about.
Some follow-up news.
Yeah, well, it's, thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to come to meet with you. Very quickly, because this was kind of a last-minute thing, and I felt like we do need some good news. What's happened is in our business and in a lot of people's business, it's no longer business as usual. It's a new normal, whatever that means. And what we have done, though, is we have continued to work to market the county and work with the cities in our county to bring in industry, to bring in retail. And I wanted to give you a little bit of idea of what we've been doing since the country has kind of taken a turn and, for all intents and purposes, shut down. And we're just now starting to open up. But one of the first things we did is we did a survey of businesses and how the virus was impacting our local businesses. And that was an eye-opener. And it was very early on, and it was very clear that it was going to have a tremendous impact. And it did. We felt a need, and we worked with the Covington County United Fund to establish an emergency relief fund. And I'm pleased to say that we raised over $50,000, and that we paid out about $37,000 to over 16 businesses that were struggling because they had to shut down because of the virus. So we felt like, and we also worked with Covington County United Fund to help them build up their presence, build up their webpage. And so we felt like that was a real immediate impact on some companies, and we got a very positive feedback, and I think United Fund got a positive feedback on that also. we worked on updates to our web pages. We have built up our regional web page. And if you haven't looked at it, I would urge you to. It's growsoutheastalabama.com. And it's now grown to an 11-county area in southeast Alabama. And we're marketing ourselves as a region. And every place we go and everybody we talk to, all the site selectors said, market your region, because your region has a lot bigger voice than, you know, Andalusia or Opp or Florala, Covington County. So we're marketing our 11-county region, and we're working on updating our web page to reflect the addition of 3 counties, and 2 utilities have joined us as well. So, of course, we did, and thanks to the commission for the solar project. Thanks so much for that. That's a big project. That got us, you know, state and national recognition for what this commission was willing to do to make that happen. On the retail side, Jack's is coming to Opp, Firehouse is coming to Andalusia, Popeyes is opened up. So I've came in town, saw the new apartment complex that's going up. That's something that Mayor Johnson has worked for about 20 years, I think, and that's finally becoming a reality. The Sitel building, we're actively marketing the Sitel building. Anybody needs a 40,000 square foot call center, let us know. So that's something that now we had added to our available properties, and we've added sites in Florala, and we're working right now with Patricia Gunner on a project out in River Falls, which is a very exciting project. We've got a Project Spectrum, and y'all know we talk in these code names, but Project Spectrum is a German manufacturer, and they're looking at Covington County, specifically the OpSpec building. We've got Project Top Hat, which is I think the word's out on that anyway. It's Peanut Buying Point, and they are probably going to locate in the industrial park in Opp. So they're in the process of raising their funds for that project. That's an exciting project. That's close to a $15 million project. We've also worked to do a conference call every Friday. We've now gone to monthly since everything is kind of settled now with our region. And Veronica Kroc is our president of our, we call her the president for life because she's done such a good job, we're not going to let her leave. So she's put together quite an impressive list of people that have come on to provide updates from all over the state. Senator Jones' representatives, Senator Shelby's representatives, Congressman Roby's representatives, all of them have come on to give us national and state updates. Jacob is, with our office, has been the only one to kind of venture out. Jacob went to Atlanta to meet with the USDA regarding timber prospects. He also visited with Commerce to talk about projects for timber in our region, which is a big industry that we need to work on. Jacob's working very hard on the River Falls project. He's at the Agribusiness Council meeting down in Gulf Shores this week, so he's ventured out a little bit more than I have. So we also right now have a project, a headquarters project that's looking at the airport consulting contract. So we've been busy during this time. We look forward, though, to the time where we can go out, because we realize how important the trade shows, the exhibitions, the face-to-face meetings with consultants, with site selectors, with with business owners and companies that want to come in our area. We realize the importance of that. And so we look forward to the day when we can just start doing back business as much as usual as it will be going forward. I was planning a trip in the end of August, and it was kind of hesitant to push that button to fly from here to Detroit. And I've already heard from some people that have flown, and it's flying is be a traumatic experience, and it seems like it's even worse now. So, but we're looking forward to getting back. I'm sorry it took so much time, Greg. I'd be glad to answer any questions about what we're doing or what we've done. But I want to thank the commission for their support. Of course, I could go back to Shaw. If it wasn't for y'all, Shaw, the Shaw expansion, if it wasn't for y'all, the solar project, and we've got to keep working together to bring these types of projects to our county.
We are excited about those projects, and the ones that you listed, that sounds good, especially in the times that we're in. I put you on the spot. I should track it closer. Do you know what unemployment in Covington County is?
I have
most
not.
recently?
I have not looked at that. The figures are so skewed. I do know people are having trouble getting people to come back to work. And so we've got some businesses, some restaurants and retail that are struggling getting people back to work.
Okay.
What we've got to realize is everybody needs to come back to work, because if we don't, that business is not going to be there down the road when you do want to come back to work.
Yeah. So we've been fortunate. It hasn't been as bad as a lot of areas, I know. But
No, it
you're
hasn't.
right, some of the retail has been
It
a
hasn't,
problem.
and there's been some companies that have really prospered during this
There was
time.
an event last week connected to the city of Andalusia you failed to mention. You had mentioned to me earlier when we were having a phone conversation.
Right, we're Covington Casket, their expansion and relocation out to, and see, that's a prime example of cooperation, because they're swapping.
Yeah.
Andalusia owned the property out in the industrial park, and of course Covington Casket's been down South Cotton forever, so they've swapped that property. The city has plans for that property, and it's a perfect move for Covington Casket to expand their business out into the industrial park. It reminds me too, we work real close with Andalusia on their downtown project. What an ambitious project they have, and of course they announced it right when everything kind of shut down. But they're still, and we had an announcement last week, they're still working hard to get the downtown area going and vibrant. And I think the council has a real vision of what that can be, and acquiring the property downtown is gonna help make that vision come true.
Anybody else have a question?
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Like I said, all these projects takes time, and it's not, the wheels turn slow, and at least we already got the wheels turning. That's something that's positive we can look at and say we do have, we are digging, we're trying, and everybody's trying to work to bring something to this community, the county, period. And so appreciate y'all's efforts and all that goes on in everybody's efforts.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rick.
Thanks for y'all's support.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Let's go back now to public comment from elected officials. Judge, you have anything for today? Sheriff? Is this, okay, you had put something up here for consideration. You want to address that, or just?
I can address it now.
It's whenever you're ready. Oh.
What I have in front of you guys is a request for y'all's consent. Applying for a grant through the Dixon Foundation for a technological upgrade within the department. We're in need of certain items, and the Dixon Foundation could possibly help us fund those items. So I think it's.
You reference on here, Sheriff, updating cameras, radars, and patrol printers.
That's correct.
Car printers?
Car printers.
Is there an amount that you're looking at?
The amount is depending on how on which models we pick and everything. The amount is the printers run about They run about $200 a piece, and I'm gonna need 14 of them. The camera system, the word's still out on that one. I'm waiting to hear back from WatchGuard. And as far as the radars are concerned, we haven't picked a model yet, but we would like to consolidate the models that we have and keep them all the same. And we're gonna consider taking what we do have and trading it in to make the price a little bit lower.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioners, any questions for the sheriff while he's here? Any thoughts on the request for this? Do you need to, you want to take action on it today, or you want to consider it and have it on the agenda for the next meeting for consideration? I know it's new to us. I don't think we had it in
The
advance.
grant is due July the 1st.
So we don't have time, do we?
So we don't have time for the next meeting. So.
Sorry, I didn't realize that.
I mean, I don't see an issue with it anyway.
All right, you want to make a motion?
I make a motion.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second to approve moving forward with grant application. If there's nothing else, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Motion carries. Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate you being here. Let's move to new business. Really, the big item of the day is the very first item under new business. Consider award of bid for solid waste services. We opened bids yesterday. Let me tell you, Covington County has a long history with Republic Services, various names over the years, but I think we talked about a 28 year record of service by that company in our community. They have served us well. They've employed a number of Covington County folks over the years, still do as of today. But there were some things that the commission wanted to address in bids. The bid law limits us. I mean, even with a good relationship, it limits what we can do to change levels of service or requirements within the contract without going back through the bid process. And so we, every so often, I think it's been 5 years or so, 5 or 6, the commission chooses to bid to address things that have arisen. So the commission chose to do so this time. And we had 2 bidders. Both met the requirement for certified funds in order to submit their bid. They both submitted that. I'm not aware of any issue with the with any of the bid packages. Here were the results of that. The best we can recap with a quick review. Republic Services bid amount was $69.21 per quarter. This is residential trash pickup and the enforcement fee that's related to that. It all gets billed in a single amount. So $69.21 a quarter. For direct comparison, ADSI, which is often referred to as Arrow, submitted a bid of $59.85. So basically a $10 per quarter difference in price, $59.85. There were a couple of areas that the commission needs to take into account, and that would be the billing fee per quarter, which is I think both of them had that covered in their base bid. The additional cart per quarter, Republic said $69.21, Arrow said $27, and then one item that we wanted to address from the commission perspective is folks that are cleaning out, spring cleaning, doing the extraordinary stuff around their home, and they have more than what their hobo or container can manage, and it takes you 10 weeks to get it all out because it's just a pile in the backyard. So we asked them if they would work with us on addressing that, and both companies did. I think both did a very nice job of proposing. Republic said they would open up 1 half day, 1 half Saturday a quarter, and accept up to 1 ton free per paying customer on that date at their present location. Arrow said that they would open up 4 times a year, and they would set up trucks at 4 designated locations around the county, and there's, again, except from paying customers and no additional charge for that. So if you have white goods, refrigerator, dryer, things like that you need to dispose of, this gives you a way to do that. It's certainly a convenience to our residents, and all of those were important things. There were some other things addressed in the bid. After reviewing this, Commissioners, I think the recommendation is to award it to Arrow as the lowest bidder. Again, their price $59.85 compared to Republic $69.21. To be fair to Republic, we are at the end of a contract period, so we're gonna have some issues in a transition. And I can't say again how much I appreciate the opportunity to work with Republic over the years. They've been responsive. Karen's been able to call them when there were issues and problems, and they've addressed those. And anytime you're in the retail business, you're gonna have things to deal with, and they've done a good job of helping us with that. The easiest thing would have been if they had just been the low bidder, but it just doesn't always work out that way. Nobody likes to lose a bid. So recommendation is to move to Arrow, and be glad to open the floor for consideration or accept a motion to award the bid as recommended.
I'd make a motion to award the lowest bidder. I mean, which would be our ADSI.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second motion.
All right, let's open it up for discussion. If there is any questions that you have, anything in particular that's of concern to you that you want to address, I think you're all aware of what was addressed within the bid specs itself.
Hopefully it'll just be a good, smooth transition and everything will work out good.
That's right. All right, if there's
You
nothing else.
pretty much said everything about Republic. They've been real good to work with, and I can't say nothing about that other than this price. And we do get a lot of calls from people about garbage pickup and about the price of it. And some of us, I ain't saying I'm rich, but I can afford for the garbage pickup. Some it's on a real fixed income. $10 a month means $10 a quarter means $10 a quarter to them. So, and also the locations to being able to pick up this debris or extra garbage. That's something I think both has asked help to do. And like I said, it's not an easy thing, but I know we're gonna have an issue of a couple of months there of getting the garbage transitioned and all that, and that might give us a chance to work it out and work through everything. And so I think Arrow said they would give all new hobos, so we'd have have good containers. You're wondering if you're gonna get good containers, something used. So they said they would put new ones out. So that kind of eliminates the thoughts of people saying, well, what we're gonna get for a garbage can, And so just that's the things I see out of it, and that's all I have to say.
Okay. If there's nothing else, there's a motion and a second. All in favor of awarding bid to Arrow as a low bidder, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, so we'll communicate directly with those companies. We appreciate, again, their bids and appreciate the opportunity to work with Republic over the years. We have a request, I think this is under your area, consider solicitation of bids for seed fertilizer. Lynn is where? I lost you, sorry.
All that is just renewal. We had we always give the opportunity for each vendor to review their bid, and they did so. So I just request we continue that seed fertilizer bid with the co-op.
Is that the 6 month, is that the item, 6 month renewal or extension?
And it's seasonal,
Okay.
it's seasonal fertilizer.
So we need to consider granting the authority to extend that contract for 6 months.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, second. Questions on that for Lynn?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll approve that. Thank you.
Lynn, we may want to go ahead and address the issue we had last week on the cutter.
Yeah,
Where we at with it?
We lost a cutter last week, one of our right-of-way machines, first one, 21 years I've been here. It caught fire and burned. I was lucky we have insurance on this, and they will cover it. My man was safe, did not get injured during the accident, and he was just going through a regen. And as that regen gets hot, and it caught the machine on fire. It was a total loss.
Any kind of time frame where we might have something back.
That machine had been busy, hadn't it, since you bought it? And you a lot of
made
comments on it.
a significant difference in our right of ways.
Years of service, what was into its service life, when it occurred, so it's done a lot.
Okay.
Remind us to give a report on the sale, the auction, in a few moments, if you think about it, if you have that. Next on the agenda is, item C, is to designate a delegate to represent Covington County Commission at our annual ACCA business meeting. As you know, the annual convention has been changed. It will not be in person. It will be, I think they'll have 2 or 3 days of presentations, and you'll watch those by video conference if you choose to, as opposed to attending in person. But for the business session itself, they are asking each commission to designate one person to represent them at an in-person meeting. I suspect it'll last an hour and a half at the most. Anybody want to be the representative for Covington County at that meeting?
Where will they meet?
I think it's in Montgomery, Prattville. Is that?
Prattville.
Okay, right. I'll be glad to do that, but if somebody else wants to, we'll certainly accept that and send Joe or Tony or Ken.
I think, I'll nominate you.
All right, there's a motion or nomination of Greg White to that.
I would second that.
There's a second. If there's nobody else, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign.
Thank you for your service.
Be glad to go. That was easy, wasn't it? Yeah. Next on the agenda, Lynn, I'd like to come back to you for staff comments. Are you prepared to give a report on the auction results?
Yeah,
Okay.
we sold, we opted this past year to, in March, to hold off on the auction due to the COVID-19 spread, and it seemed to be a pretty good choice by the commission. Our trucks averaged 149,000, we sold 6 vehicles at that, just shy under $900,000, and the net was actually about 50,000 above the guarantee that Wood Auction
Big
had
guarantee.
given us.
Yeah.
And just a quick update on our 107 project, South Alabama, will start their phase 2 study, archaeological study, hopefully next week. They're supposed to be here tomorrow, but they had something come up and they pushed it till next week. But our crews will be there with them to help assist with whatever they need to further that project along too, so.
Good.
Lynn, how long have we had those trucks? Do you,
2 years,
2 years?
2 years.
Do you remember the per unit cost on them when we bought them, roughly?
I think about it's between 137, 147,000. So
Gotcha.
they, it's still a good deal for the county to rotate these vehicles.
Yes, sir.
Brought what we had in them when you look at the net. That's great, okay. Not everything works that way, but those worked extremely well, didn't they? Let me come back to another item of business that Karen was telling me, and I was getting mixed up with the one we just took care of. You may want to piggyback it on what we just did, but you may not. The commission designates someone to represent us on the legislative committee each year. Kyle Adams did that for a couple of years. I did it this past year. Be glad to rotate that if somebody else wants to do that. There typically is a meeting to set the legislative agenda of our association later, probably September, October, and they're asking us to go ahead and submit those names at this time, and I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was up already, so. What do you wanna do, Joe? You wanna be the legislative
I
representative?
think since you're already going, that I'll just go ahead and nominate you for that. There'll probably be some discussion about that in some of these future meetings, so.
Well, it's
Well,
September, so we got a ways to think on it and come up with a,
Well, they're asking
right
for
now,
a
we're
name.
asking you to go ahead.
Okay, well, until we vote to do different, then there's a motion second, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, we'll take care of that. I'm
You
sorry
got
about-
anything else you wanna bring up with?
Sorry to overlook that, that's through.
Anything else you wanna do?
No, I'm sorry. Let's see, there's gotta be something else here. Comments from staff, EMA? You have anything?
Not really, we still have the declaration that we're waiting for FEMA with on April 19th. They still have not approved the storm before, so I'm still hopeful for that, but I called yesterday and there's no report yet.
Okay. Thanks for working that and pushing it. Kevin, you have anything? Okay.
Greg,
Yes,
May of 2019, our unemployment rate was 2.7.
Okay.
In April of 2020, it was 10.6. And it's rebounded to 7.4 in May of 2020. So,
Picking up.
back in last year, things were going very well.
Yeah.
And at least we're trending in the right direction. So
Well, that's a significant improvement, isn't it, from 10.6 to 7.4?
very much so.
And there have been, I think it's easy to overlook how many folks have been adversely affected by
10%
the
's a lot,
shutdown.
is a big number.
You know, every restaurant closed, every daycare closed for some period of time. And,
School.
yeah, there's a lot of frustration in it, but it does seem that things are moving back in a good direction now. There's certainly concern at the local government level about funding, your funding stream, revenue sources, and how they're gonna be impacted by this. In Covington County, we've been extremely fortunate. I think we reviewed our last month's sales tax, which is a big source of our revenue, and we were within 1% of what we were same period last year. So we've been very blessed and fortunate to have thus far, no negative impact from it. And based on Chuck Patterson's report earlier, I think that we'll see the revenue from property tax stay strong as well. Commissioners, next, anything? Any of y'all?
Well, one thing, since the last meeting, we've had the Junior High School Rodeo Association to come to the arena, and then this past weekend, the state finals for the Alabama High School Rodeo Association had good attendance, had a lot of good comments on the arena and the work that's been done out there, and I just wanted to commend everybody for their efforts, Kevin and Larry for their work, and the sheriff for providing help, and all Karen and all of them have done a great job of booking it, so I just wanted to, matter of fact, on the same note, we had a group from Walton County to come up and look at the arena. They were thinking maybe in the future, if things came out, they would do it. On the economic side for them, to show where Covington County was, their assistant administrator told me they were $5 million short on reaching their budget because of the impact of the COVID. So we have been very
We're fortunate.
blessed.
Yes, we have.
Yes, sir.
We really cannot overstate the positive impact of things like the junior rodeo state finals, the high school rodeo state finals, and the good work that Karen Sowell and her team have done on making all that happen. Doesn't happen without a lot of effort. I saw Karen doing something of everything except riding bulls this past weekend, so she has been right in the middle of all of it.
That's right.
She spent some late evenings out there without being asked to, or, you know, it wasn't her direct responsibility, but she takes responsibility for it, and I cannot overstate the value of that to the county as a whole.
I think too that we had, our county attorney had a child to do well.
Did
This
she?
rodeo as well.
She won a belt buckle or what?
Goat tying champion, so she won a saddle.
A saddle, that's better than a buckle.
That's
Good
it.
for her. Congratulations. Yeah. That's kinda like the arena itself. It takes a lot of effort by more than just one person.
It does.
Mom has to.
There's a lot of parental funding on it.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
All right, we are at the end of our agenda. If there's a motion to adjourn, we will so move. Let me adjourn and then we'll come back to you.
No, sir. You allowed Rick Covington to speak.
I had invited Rick to speak.
Well, I called
Harriet.
your office at 10:45 on Thursday and left a message that I would like to be on the agenda, and you never returned my call, and you never placed me on the agenda. And we have a group of people here. Obviously, there's a problem that needs to be addressed, and we would like to indulge your time and speak to you and the council about what we are here for.
Harriet, I'm sorry I didn't return your call. I don't suppose I got the message. I know Kyle called me and I returned his call, or he called the office.
Well, I have a Photoshop where, took a Photoshop of when I left the message.
You know, I believe you. I'm not doubting it at all. I wasn't aware of that. So I didn't have a request from you to be on the agenda, and I apologize.
In the voicemail that I be on the agenda.
Okay. When did we close the agenda?
We sent them out last Wednesday.
And I think that may have been the same issue that when Kyle had, I offered, and he and I met, because he had asked me on it, but it was also Thursday morning. And the agenda had already been set and closed, and,
Well,
so
it wasn't
what I would invite you to.
72 hours, 'cause that's what you told them that it had to be done within 72 hours. And it
So-
was indeed done within 72
72 working hours, because we put it out.
You can go back and count, and it was within working hours.
What I would love to do is invite you to, be at the next meeting. And
No, sir, that's not gonna work. I think the people here would agree that enough is enough.
Okay, may I ask, what is item number 3 on your agenda?
that's where we have public comments. So if we had scheduled, if Ms. Harriet had been scheduled, she would have been on there. That's why it says as scheduled. I mean, that's just, it's a placeholder, and when we have, and occasionally we have folks speak anytime they request it, but we've not done anything out of the ordinary. I mean, I didn't know you called, so I apologize.
Well,
Again, Kyle called and left a message. I called him back. I would have called you.
So are you saying that you will not allow this group to speak? You want to go on record for that?
Actually, our administrator's been the one that sets the public comments
Who's
on the
the
agenda.
administrator?
That would
This
be
would
me.
be Karen Sowell.
We have to receive the request in our office prior to the agenda being released, and there was nothing, that was requested until after the agenda had already been sent out that day.
So you are refusing for us to speak?
Yes, ma'am, based on our rules, you're not allowed to
Well,
speak
we
at this
have-
meeting without having been requesting
Yeah.
prior to the time the agenda is sent out.
Everybody
But we have a public forum here, and you're welcome to hang around if you would like to, but I'd like to adjourn the meeting. And again, you can ask to be on, if you wanna ask me today, we'll, accept you on the agenda for the next meeting.
If you don't recall, we met with you, I was actually with.
On Thursday, that's correct.
We did, we asked, and you made indication that we had been there in plenty of time.
I didn't do that. No, ma'am, I didn't, because Kyle had already asked, and I'd already told him no, which is why that I agreed to meet that morning with him.
The phone conversation that you and Kyle had was, I was not privy to, but when we did meet with you in person on Thursday, you did let us know that this meeting would be here.
It is, and you're welcome to attend, absolutely.
Well, we through with the business, County?
Let me finish up. All in favor, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Second.
So our meeting, in person on Thursday in your office at CPA is not going to be addressed here.
I'd like to ask all the people that are here to, discuss the.
All in favor, say aye.
All in
Aye.
favor.
We stand adjourned.
Stay.